What's going on? What's going on? And we're back. This is the CliffNotes Project Presents. You know who it presents. Let me introduce these guys here. We got an extra body in the building.
I need my security this week because people who don't know at home, this is Dito, the only Dito. You might have seen him. If you follow the Spike King, you see him around. You're lurking in the shadows almost because Dito travels with me. Any events I go to, he's always there. He's got my back. He understands who the true Spike King is. He knows who Brian is. But I get a lot of hate, and I feel like after a Patriots loss and coming off that overtime loss, I was getting a lot of hate last night because I was coming out with some truth, which we'll get into in a second. But Dito, you want to talk to them out there?
I'm Dito. I travel, big Pats fan. Travel with Brian, so I got to know Brian. Real cool dude before the Spike King, and I got to know the Spike King a little bit, and I seen all the hate and stuff like that. But when I got to know Brian, I realized he was a real cool dude, real humble, real down to earth, and it just clicked. Like we've been knowing each other for what?
Couple years,
Like
I'd say
3-4
2018, like something like
3-4
that. Like
years.
Jacksonville. I feel like it was after Jacksonville, after we sweated it out down there.
That we started.
And then we sweated out down in Jacksonville, and I'm not paying him to say any of this, by the way. He's literally he's here to support and everything. But you know what? We're gonna talk about the Red Sox a little bit later. Cliff has that ready to go, and that's why I brought you here to talk about the Sox being up 2-1 in the ALCS. They're literally gonna go to the World Series, and I want you go to all these games, you get all the bobbleheads. I'm a casual, I'm a pink cat when it comes to it. That's why I brought you in today. More importantly, we need to talk about the New England Patriots and the state of the New England Patriots and Patriots Nation. I'm here to address you. So what I have to say is that Pats Nation, they're 2-4. Do not hit the panic button just yet. You know, they've played so well against Tampa. They've played so well against Dallas, both Super Bowl contending teams. All it was is a field goal, a fumble in overtime that separates you from your current record of 2-4 and the record of 5-1. So you can't hit the panic button yet. They're progressively getting better offensively, and Mac Jones is. And guys, listen, I've talked about this. I put this on Twitter because it's a true knee-jerk reaction. Mac Jones deserves some of the blame for that loss. Like, how can you sit there at home and you're watching this right now and say, what are you talking about, Spike? Mac Jones doesn't deserve anything. He's just a rookie. Stop giving me that bullshit. Mac Jones came from Alabama, an NFL-ready team. He is a runner-up for a Heisman. He was a consensus All-American. He was a first All-SEC last year. He's NFL-ready. He shouldn't be a McDaniels robot. Like, he's going out there and just listening to his coaches and doing that. That guy needs to grab everything by the balls and switch things up, because you're playing conservative 1 minute and then you're playing aggressive when you shouldn't be playing aggressive. Then you go to overtime and you're playing conservative again. So Mac Jones, needs to just take it, because what's going to happen? What's he going to get benched? What's he going to lose his job? There's no one behind him, and I know I'm a big stadium guy. There's nobody behind him. Mac Jones, just run with it, and I believe he deserves some of the blame because you are the quarterback. The team falls on you. Like, if you're the lead singer of a band, everyone goes to the lead singer. You are the band. Mac Jones, you are the New England Patriots. So if a loss happens, there's going to be some accountability for you. Now, when I say blame, the guy had an awesome performance. But when it's the fourth quarter and there's 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go, and they just missed a field goal for Dallas, and the first thing that happens, delay a game. Like you can't be having that right away. Then all of a sudden, you take a run, you run the ball, they call a timeout. Then you get a little aggressive to Kendrick Bourne, which wasn't a good throw. Like, I get all these people. You have never played football, Babs. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. If it hits their hands, it's catchable. Rewatch that, because it was not a good throw. And why are you doing that with under 3 minutes to go, where you should be eating the clock? Just get it first down, run the ball. That's when you need to be conservative, because you can say, well, Babs, they got the ball back, and Mac Jones ends up having a 75-yard touchdown, which was very lucky because the free safety for Dallas completely blown coverage. They shouldn't even been in that spot.
Very, very, very lucky.
Cliff, like, you get the ball with 2 minutes and 44 seconds to go, and Dallas has been running down your throat offensively the entire game. Do not give them the ball back. Do not give them any sort of time. That's what I'm upset about. And if Mac Jones is so fucking good for you people that keep defending him, then why didn't he have his magic in overtime? Like, where was that? You had the ball first, you wanted it in your hands, and Mac Jones goes 3 and out. Don't blame the play calling. Don't blame. He deserves some accountability. He deserves accountability. It's okay to criticize him that way. That's it. He's a great quarterback. The Pats have something great in their future. But man, you know where you come from, Mac Jones. You know who you are. The team is saying go take it. It reminds me, I love wrestling, right? It's like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day when they're competing against WCW and they're down and out, and Vince McMahon likes to control his wrestlers. He says, go at it. Go cut your promos. Go do whatever you do. Grab the brass ring. That's what Vince McMahon will say. That's what Robert Kraft should be saying to Mac Jones. Just grab the brass ring and do it. That's it. Control the offense. Be the man. Be the man, Mac Jones.
Can Mac Jones be the man, though, is the question.
Yeah, absolutely he can be the man. Mac Jones has showed every week he's progressing, every single step of the way. I don't like these people that come out and say, well, Mac Jones went 7 for 7 and he was perfect in the first half. It's like, well, you only threw 7 passes. But he's being smart. The offensive line, man, that shot that he got, it was like Bill Goldberg coming in for you saw that, right?
Yeah,
is that an offensive line, though?
Oh man, he blew that play so bad, man. And I sent you that video.
Yeah, it was straight up. Oh, you know what? I wish I had that video. I should have sent it in. It literally got speared.
He's lucky he didn't get injured.
Yeah, I thought that was like cracked ribs or something like that.
He took him out clean.
So I can't. I'm not going to blame Mac Jones for the offensive line performance or anything like that. He's progressively getting better, but when the game is on the line or you need to be in a situation, and I don't care, you're not a rookie, dude. You came from Alabama. You just came from a national title team. You should be able to grab this offense by the balls and run it yourself and not be a McDaniels robot. That's the thing I'm upset about, because we're leaving wins on the table and you're 2-4. You're 2-4. That should be 5-1, and this should be a wild card team. And we're going to get ahead, and we're going to talk about the other teams and what's going on in the NFL. I'm not pushing the panic button yet, but I will. I will if they end up losing to the Jets next week.
Before we go to the Jets, let's first talk about. I think Coach Belichick might be losing it, man.
Belichick. Like, what is up with the coaching? They don't make these mistakes, man. It's unreal to see Bill Belichick, the defense, not being able to get any stops at whatsoever. What was like 500, 600 offensive yards for Dallas. This is not Bill Belichick. Like, you know what I blamed it on, Cliff?
Talk to me.
Cliff, where's the hoodies? This guy in the post game is just, he's not wearing the hoodies anymore. He's not wearing the cutoff sleeves. He's like different. Like, I don't like his attire. Like, it's those little straps on the side here on his shoulders. Like, it's just, what happened to Belichick? Did Tom Brady really curse this team on his way out? Like, what is this New England Patriots coaching team? Like, what are we seeing out there? There's no discipline whatsoever. And again, there's no accountability as well, too. Where a couple weeks ago, we talked about this. Chase Winovich finger pointing somebody else for the 10-man on the field, and that's it. That's their problem. The fan base not holding your quarterback one accountable as well, too, because it's everyone's accountable at some sort of point. Coaching staff's accountable up and down. This team is just, it's lost. It's just, they're lost little puppies out there, right?
Maybe it's the marriage. Maybe it's the marriage that did that to him.
You think so? You think it's the marriage?
It's something.
Like, it's something.
I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that guy is.
It's not the same guy, man. It's not the same guy that we grew up for the past, 20 years of seeing, over 20 years. And it's just like a whole completely different guy now.
Well, you know what I'm upset about? Is like, you're hurting the narrative. Like the narrative is Brady is better than Belichick and made Belichick, and every fucking week in and out, it's proving it. It's proving it. And then you have Thursday Night Football. Oh my God, Thursday Night Football. You know, the Bucs should have destroyed it. Vegas they cheat. They know what they're doing. The line was 6.5.
Yeah, they
didn't
do.
cover.
Yeah,
they know
do.
exactly what they're doing. But, man, Tom Brady's watching this game at home at 4:25. You know he's watching this game. He is probably chuckling. He's laughing. And right after they lose, he likes to post a little commercial. It was like that cryptocurrency commercial that he puts out there. He knows that. And I'm sure Brady is having a kick at this every single week. I don't know if Belichick is kicking himself or beating himself up in the inside. Like, dude, like, because there is some pressure now. You're 0-4 at home. It has not happened since 1993. Most of you watching were probably in your dad's nutsack at that time. Like, you have no idea that this is like, that's an old Patriots team that used to lose like that. We are not used to this. It's very, very concerning when Foxborough and going to Gillette Stadium, it used to be your place. For the Patriots, the fans. You know what I was upset about, guys? I saw this as well, too. I'm ranting. I saw this.
All right,
That's
on.
okay. This is what I do.
Go on, bro. Talk exactly.
There was a lot of Cowboys fans there yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard it.
I heard how you can hear the Coopers and I heard Coop, and I heard that very loud.
What does that mean, guys? What does that mean?
I said this, man. I said this last week that the season ticket holders, they're done with the season. They know what the writing on the wall is. They're selling their tickets now. The Cowboys fan base travels well. A lot of these fans, like Buffalo travels well, Cowboys travel well. Even some of the Browns fans, they travel well too. So these tickets are available. People aren't going to games. I asked this to Tony Maserati when I had an Instagram Live with him on Sunday morning. I said to him, do you think that the atmosphere is going to change? You go, say you're after the Chargers game, you're 3-5 or you're 3-6. Are people going to go to games? And he says, well, football's football. Football sells. It will sell to the opposing team fan base. They're going to come into your house and be louder than what you are.
That's
that
right.
pisses me off, too, about Pat's Nation is I wish Spike King could be there every week. Trust me. I wish I could be there. I got babies at home.
So do we do we need to rename New England? Like, is it still the Nation?
Pat's Nation's down bad right now. The fan base, you're down. We're down bad. There's still a little hope. There's still a little light, and that's why I say don't push the panic button just yet. But God, Pat's Nation is like it's crumbling from within. We're not fighting each other, at least like the Kansas City Chiefs fans were.
No, not yet.
We're not there yet. That's why I brought security with me just in case too, because just to show, hey, if you see, I got a lot of hate. You see me, you're gonna see this guy out there next to me, and I hide right behind him. So you know.
I got a question for both of you. Let's start with our first guest, right? So, 4th and 3. You're the coach. What do you do?
I'm going for it.
Thank you. Someone with a sack. Welcome.
Well, an example is tonight. The example is tonight.
You gotta go for it,
if you were watching the Tennessee Titans Buffalo game, Ryan Tannehill, I think it was 4th and 3, and they went for it and got a first down to, I believe it was A.J. Brown or Julio Jones, one of the two, right? Why are we not doing that? I believe it was 4 times. It was 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 2, and 4th and 1. And the Patriots do not go for it. Now, we can spin it back, Cliff and Dito, like, well, look at a couple weeks ago when you're playing Tampa Bay, and that was the whole thing. Should they go for it on 4th down, or should they let the kicker go for it? And I thought that at that time, there was the right decision to let the kicker go for it. But in an opportunity in a game like this, and we all know, and I get the accountability thing, right? I'm going to be a hypocrite, right? Because 1 minute I'm saying Mac Jones needs to be held accountable, and this is for certain reasons. The next minute, he goes on 4th down, doesn't convert it, then you can play the rookie card. Well, he's a rookie, right? He's not going to have total amount of pressure weighing down on him through Pat's Nation or through the New England media if he goes for it on 4th down and doesn't convert. Right. But he needs to be put in these situations, which he is, and needs to be able to be throwing it because we want to see if he can handle that pressure. That's the coaching staff is not holding back.
And that's what I seen too. And I think it was the one play where they had to delay a game and they had to call the timeout. Mac Jones was frustrated with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
If you seen him get frustrated and he's like, let me do me, let me go, let me do what I have to do.
So that's why I'm saying.
And I don't think they have confidence in him.
But that's what so they don't, and that's why I'm saying Mac Jones needs to stop being a robot and just be like, you need to run with it. You're a rookie, right? Like, You're not going to lose your job. Brian Hoyer's not going to start over you. Stidham's not going to take over your job.
Job is pretty safe over there.
His job is safe. His job is safe. Like, Mac should be able to put that in his mindset and say, fuck these guys, I'm going to go do it. Because you know what? Belichick would love that. Belichick would like him to just grab the brass ring and say, fuck you to McDaniels and go do a play that McDaniels didn't call. Yes, is Mac going to get chewed out on the sideline afterwards? Yeah. Are you going to run extra laps probably in practice? Yeah, absolutely. But if that means you can game manage yourself and do something that you see Mac Jones that ends up getting you the victory, then in the long run, it's better. That's what they want out of Mac Jones. And maybe they're doing this purposely, playing conservative, because they want Mac Jones to not do what he's being told by the coaching staff and being able to figure it out on his own on the field. Maybe there's something there, and they want him to do that. That way he can gain his own confidence. That way, because how many times have we seen these great quarterbacks just go out there and they run their own offense? Mac Jones needs to run his own offense, and he's not a rookie. He can run his own offense. He came from Alabama. Like, he was a runner-up for the Heisman. Like, that's why I'm so frustrated. Mac Jones, just do it on your own. You can do it.
Another question for you guys. All right. Now, we have Mac Jones. We've seen what he's been doing. A lot of his throws that are interceptions. Again, I told you I like to really study the game. He's throwing off his back foot, man.
That's what I noticed too.
He's trying to float.
Flat-footed.
He think he could just float things.
That's what
step into it.
That's what I'm saying. The pass that he threw to Bourne on the pick to Diggs, he was flat-footed.
Yeah.
He came back. He didn't go straight at.
Yeah.
He could have just went straight forward right at him. He would have threw a better pass.
Yeah.
He threw flat-footed. The ball was too high. It was out of Kendrick Bourne's reach, and you give him a pick six.
Yeah.
In a crucial time. And I noticed that a lot. And I don't know why his mechanics are like that. But he
better hit up Tom after the offseason, man.
Oh.
No, Tom ain't gonna help him out. No, and you know what? That's the thing that I'll go back on is just the aggressiveness on that play didn't need to happen. Like,
no,
where's the check down? Where's something just to move the chains, move the sticks? Like, just get a first down. Why are you throwing it like that? It just makes no sense. Like, it just, and then why are you being conservative in overtime? Like, I don't mind him making those mistakes in the first half. That's fine. But when it's down to the wire, you can't not be making those mistakes, and he can learn from it. And I hope that he's frustrated. And I hope he's home right now. I know he's watching. I know Mac Jones is watching this right now live. Mac Jones is taking it all in, and hopefully it just keeps adding to it. But I will say this, guys. You start week one. Week one wasn't his fault. It was a fumble. Week two at the Jets, he didn't look that great against the Jets, but the team took care of business. Week three, he didn't look good. Week three was a bad game for Mac Jones, right? And then so he has 2 pick sixes now, I think, on the season, right? Because they think he threw a pick six against New Orleans.
And that's what's crazy. These picks, it's killing him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he has 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions right now. And I'm fine with the interceptions, just game managing on the line. Then it's like you play Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay, they should have gave him the ball maybe in 4th down. But I thought it was the right call to go for a field goal, and our conversation could change.
That was a 50-50 call.
It was a 50-50 call. And then you got Houston, which you went down quick, 22-9 or whatever it was, and he led the team back and got them in position. So. And then this week, you go to overtime against the Dallas Cowboys, who are a Super Bowl contending team, what they look like right now. You held your own. You made a couple mistakes. So I'm not worried. It's just you're leaving these wins on the table because I know deep down inside when we get to December and even towards January, because they do play regular season in January this year, that this team can actually compete with others. They've already showed it right now against Tampa and Dallas. The team itself but they can figure it out over the next month or two. They need to figure it out and get together.
Another scary question for you guys. We know who we have coming up next. The Jets. We win? Dito.
I say we win. I need you to take the home. I need you to take the love for the game or for the Patriots. Let's be honest. No, I'm going to be honest. I think this is a team that they can beat. They're already playing against 2 teams that are Super Bowl contenders. Okay. There's no excuse that they can't win against the Jets. If they don't win against the Jets next week, I'm hitting the panic button. Because there's no excuse.
I'm pushing that shit right now.
I'm not pushing it. I'm not
pushing
it right now. Next week's going to show he has to ball out. He has to take a lot more control of the game. He has to do a lot more to show that he can ball because
we're in trouble.
He's not being ballsy, and the coaching staff has to trust him. And if the coaching staff don't trust him, hey, fucking pick your balls up and fucking go for it. Go do it yourself. Don't
about
listen to them.
What about you, Spike?
I'm
Talk
just
to
worried
him.
about the defense. Like
That's-
the defense that it's 4th and 4,
than
and you
that,
can't stop them. It's 3rd and 25. And you give up a 24-yard play to set up a field goal to tie the game. Like, the defense cannot make the stop. It was the same thing in Houston. The defense couldn't stop Houston. So Cliff and Dito, if that team cannot stop Davis Mills, and now you have Zach Wilson for a second time, so he's already seen you once. Yep. And he's gotten a little bit better.
He's getting better.
He's gotten a win.
He's getting better.
He got a win. Yeah. They could have beat Atlanta 2 in London, and he's coming off a bye week.
Yeah.
He's well rested. He's ready for this game. And every game against the Patriots is always a Super Bowl. You want to beat the New England Patriots. This is a trap game this week. Mm-hmm. This is a complete trap game. And again,
talk about that.
It won't be Mac Jones's fault. It really won't. He'll get blamed because Spike King's still going to blame him for something. But there is. It might be another one of these games where he could go 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and still lose the game because of his defense. That's a scary thing. And you're against the New York fucking Jets, man. So I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous. Again, I've said this so many times going into the season, there's no gimmies anymore. Every game is going to be a tough game going forward. You lose to the Jets. You lose to the motherfucking New York Jets, and you go 2-5 for the season, you're done. Your season's over because guess what? Pats Nation, they're going to disappear. Because by then, the Red Sox will be in the World Series, and all of Boston will move on to the next sport.
Right.
And
Celtics start this week.
And the Celtics start this
Celtics.
week, and the Bruins.
Red Sox.
So you're going to find those fans. A guy like me who's the Patriots diehard, quote unquote, that has to talk about it on his phone every fucking day. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough time.
We're going to need to do some house calls to make sure he's okay.
I know.
All right. Again, last week, 2 weeks in a row, I've asked you this. What's Chase Winovich doing? I'm giving up on Chase, but what is this guy doing here? What's his role? What is his role?
Brought back. You said this last week, Cliff. Who said who's the defensive coordinator? Is it Belichick? Is it Steve Belichick? Is it Steve Belichick?
Is it the Adderall? I mean,
I think that's Adderall.
It's Addy Gate.
Is it Gerard Mayo? Who's the Is it Belichick? Like it's Matt Patricia. It's because the bend don't break defense. That's what we're seeing right now. Bend don't break defense. It's the same thing. Is Matt Patricia doing like the Ernie Adams thing right now, and he's watching over everybody? And it's
Ernie.
I don't. What is Matt Patricia doing? We don't never hear his name. He definitely is responsible for something on the defense right now. The fact that you're giving up so many yards, credit to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, great quarterback, but you cannot be doing that. You just need one stop. That's it. It's back-to-back weeks that you're just giving up so many yards that are very unnecessary. And all you need is that one stop to change the game.
I want to give a big shout-out to Jay Mills for just looking like a fool on this play.
Yeah.
He gave up. I wish I had there was you could see him, and then he sped up at the end to push him.
To try
good job, buddy. Good job. You did
I
great.
think that was one thing that I think it was Tony Romo that pointed out. They wanted the one-on-one, and they was looking for that prior to that play, even in overtime. They tried to expose Devin McCourty, but they couldn't get to him yet.
Right.
And they did it with Jalen Mills. Mm-hmm. And that's what they got. They wanted the one-on-one, and there's no way you're going to stop CeeDee Lamb.
I'm a little pissed off that our veteran he was making excuses. When was the last time you heard McCourty make an excuse? He's like, we're a little banged up, one guy in, a little tired. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
That's not like him.
Wow, this is different.
How do you feel if you're Devin McCourty and you know that this is possibly your last season, or you got 2 more years left?
Hey Tom, you think you got room for me in Tampa?
I guess it's a lot of these veterans. It's a lot of these veterans too. Like crap on me for this, but Dante Hightower actually has looked pretty decent the last 2 weeks. Hasn't looked terrible. When's the time going to come where he's going to just check out? And because once some of these vets start checking out, they're like, well, you know what, my career's almost done anyways. Yep. I felt like that happened last year a little bit too, when they went 2-5 to start the season. You could go 2-5 again to start the season, by the way. This could be back-to-back years where you go 2-5. That's why I'm saying this upcoming Jets game is so important, because it's a trap game, right? You give up, the mood changes. And I'm hearing something about Gilmore now, too. Gilmore's going to keep getting brought up all season. And it was about, well, if Gilmore was still on the team, even if he's on the pup, he'd still be able to talk to a Jalen Mills. He'd be able to talk to Wade. He'd be able to mold these guys. I think that's bullshit, too. They're just trying to find their excuses right now of why the team's playing so piss poor. Hey, they spent the money on offense. They spent the money. Judon was a great signing as well for defense. But there's still so many holes that they got to figure out, whether you have to do it through the draft or whether you have to do it through another free agency. It's just frustrating as a fan, and as you guys are seeing it as well too, because you know this team is better than what their record is. Last year, the team wasn't better than what their record was. They actually were a 7-9 team. They truly were, because of what the pieces are around them. If Cam Newton was on this team this year as well, would it make a difference? They'd probably have the same record, or maybe they have 3 wins. Maybe they have 3 wins. A lot of it's on the defense. A lot of it's on the defense. And maybe Cam Newton, when you're down 22-9 against Houston, might have given up himself as a veteran. Whereas a young, hungry rookie, Mac Jones, is not giving up to the final triple-digit 0.
Really shocked you're going there with Cam. But I'm proud of you, man, saying that. Because a lot of people were shitting on Cam, and still are.
I wanted Cam to stay.
I think Cam should have stayed.
I feel like he should have stayed. I've been saying that since I've not been against Cam all year, and I've said it because the one thing that Cam loved playing with in Carolina was a tight end. He did not have that last season. This is true. His number one guy in Carolina was Greg Olsen.
Really true.
That was his number one guy.
Always, yeah.
And now you have 2, and you have Smith and Hunter Henry.
This was built for him.
It was. It was.
So what happened?
I don't know.
Is it really COVID? Something happened.
Okay, so wait. How bullshit is it that the reason why Cam Newton lost his job is because of the vaccination? You cannot tell me anything else, because he's a veteran and he didn't do enough to lose his job. In terms of playing wise, in terms of what he did in the preseason. Maybe there's some things that we don't know about that they were trying to push him out. Maybe McDaniels wanted him out of there. Maybe they truly wanted a Mac Jones to start and they had to find their excuse. But it pisses me off, and it must piss Bill off or somebody, the fact that Cam Newton didn't want to get vaccinated. He missed those 5 days where Mac Jones kind of took over. You knew you didn't want to run into a situation, which the Pats have already done that this year. Right. And I said it kind of comes full circle because guys missing a game because of COVID, not being vaccinated. Then all of a sudden, you find out this past week, Cam Newton's vaccinated. He's got teams calling him. All of a sudden, he gets a shot because he realizes, too, he's not getting a job until he gets the vaccine. It's like, damn, why didn't you just do that to begin with? We wouldn't have run into this situation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not slandering Mac Jones. I like the progression of what we're seeing through Mac Jones. Right now, guys, we're just going through our lumps. That's all. We're going through our lumps with a possible team that's going to go under 500, but you know what Mac Jones is bringing to the table. It's good he's getting these reps. At the same time, Cam Newton, because of our winning culture, we want to win. Like, the Patriots want to still remain up there. Belichick doesn't have many years left. He's in a win-now mode. I think having Cam Newton for the season would have been beneficial still for Mac Jones, because guess what? Mac might have a couple like little tweaks in his injuries of coming off of college. You can still learn being behind Cam Newton as well and still progress and be able to take over the reins next year. But realistically, what you just said, Dito, this team, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, they were built for Cam Newton. Mac Jones wasn't even a thought. Maybe if they were scouting Mac Jones, absolutely a free agency. Doesn't mean they were guaranteed to ever get him.
Correct.
You had to have these emergency plans. Plan A was Jimmy Garoppolo. We found that out. Yep. Plan B was probably getting Tom Brady back somehow. Plan C was Cam Newton. Plan D was Jarrett Stidham. Plan, E was probably trading for Deshaun Watson. Or maybe he was Plan B. But it went down to Plan F, which was probably Mac Jones. Not that Mac Jones is an F, but it's just that was the plan. They got Mac Jones. Once they drafted him and they saw his work ethic, they're like, maybe we should go with this guy. And maybe Belichick wants to go through the lumps. And maybe just, it is what it is. We're trying to win football games, but maybe he's the guy.
I have not to cut you off, but I'm looking at Kyle. I got Kyle here who just asked a question. He says, does McDaniels need to go?
So where's McDaniels going to go? They talked about the open job in Las Vegas. Maybe he goes to for the Raiders, McDaniels.
I would love to see him there.
So it's
strangely enough.
So you want McDaniels gone. If you want McDaniels gone, Mac Jones, just fucking grab grab the brass ring. Go out there. Grab it by the balls and just be you. Don't listen to McDaniels. If you don't listen to McDaniels, you'll probably succeed even more. and once they find out, oh shit, we don't even need this offensive coordinator. See you later. But I feel like McDaniels, I think he just has this strong connection with Robert Kraft and has really strong ties with Bill Belichick. I don't see him going. It is frustrating to see the play calls and how what's going on in the game. That is McDaniels' fault. It is coaching fault, but I think it's one of these situations that McDaniels has to look at it too. And if he sticks around longer and longer, he's eventually going to take over as the head coach of the New England Patriots. The opportunity is going to be there for him to take it if he stays here. And also, don't forget, he was going to go to the Colts and he backed off on the job and screwed them over. He kind of gets blackballed a little bit, but maybe we see him in Las Vegas next year.
We'll see. I just
I want to ask you guys this.
Shoot.
While we're here. Next April, when it comes to draft time, we're going to find out about Deshaun Watson. And we're going to find out if Deshaun Watson is going to miss any time or all his charges are cleared. He's not playing a snap this season. So you already have a situation down in Miami with Tua. They do not believe in Tua, and the Miami Dolphins just lost as well too. But Brian Flores has been very outspoken. He does not want Deshaun Watson there. I actually think a great landing spot for Miami quarterback next year, Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a great landing spot. Just keep it in mind, everybody. Aaron Rodgers looks good this year so far.
Yes, he does.
Deshaun Watson's available next draft, and you say, hey, he's clear of all charges. He's ready to play. Do you trade Mac Jones and a couple first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, knowing Deshaun Watson's only a couple years older, but he's NFL ready, NFL experience? Do you make that trade with the weapons you currently have and maybe add another weapon in the offseason as well too?
I'm gonna send him off with some Big Macs, man. Listen, Deshaun Watson is real. Like, when was the last time you seen a player like Watson? Unfortunately, he's been blessed with the Belichick coaching tree. Ugh. Imagine him coming into a true system. I think we kind of have a true system. And that's the other thing. If he is to come here, will Bill wake up? Will he bring maybe some old individuals? Like I heard on sports, I think it was Sports Hub, bring Charlie Weiss or someone like that. I don't know. All I know is this. Wherever he goes, I do hope that he has a good coach or a good system that is built around him, because they had something over there. And for whatever reason, they started just shipping everyone away, which was very, very, very strange. But
especially starting with Hopkins, that's the number one, probably the number one receiver, top receiver in the league.
Once you
ship him off, and it's just like I can imagine his frustration when he was gone.
Murray was happy about that one.
Oh, of course.
I also look at it too is if Mac Jones stays in New England and can keep progressing, and he's going to over the years, it's going to take time. Does Belichick want to wait for that time? Does Belichick want to wait 5 more years till Mac Jones finally catches up and is that NFL caliber player? Because 5 years from now, what's Bill Belichick? He's probably in his late 60s. Is he 70? You can find that out somehow. But I think that Bill Belichick wants to win now. He needs to win now. He needs to go to Super Bowls now. He'd probably rather sell his soul to win 2 more Super Bowls in a 3-year span than wait another 5 or 6 years just to even get to a Super Bowl without even the chance of winning it. Like, without that chance of winning it, could he help out his legacy in terms of, having Mac Jones be the next Tom Brady, but just the next, elite quarterback? Yeah, that's going to help Belichick's legacy. It's just, do you really want to wait all that time? You want to win now. That's the frustrating thing. His team should be 5-1. You know it. Belichick knows it. You want to win these football games. I think that it's tough. We're gonna find out. This is why we talk all about it. So
I just don't. I don't want to. One, I think the Shula record is out the bag. I think that's gone. I don't.
No, he's gonna get the Shula record.
You think so?
Yeah, because he only needs an average of 12 wins over the next 4 seasons to get it. He's not that far. He's not helping himself going 7-9 and then
bingo. And that's
4.
my point. But I don't know that do you think the Crafts are going to want to keep dealing with this?
No, I think after this season, if you go under 500, but it also, like they say this, it's a cop-out excuse because, well, we had a rookie, Mac Jones, and we went under 500.
Right.
Like, what can you do? We went 8-9. If they get 8 wins, it's like, we went 8-9. Look at the Chargers. They went 7-9 last year, and they're like above 500. They don't look that bad. It's tough where Kraft believes in Belichick, obviously. He picked Bill over Brady. because that could have been Brady over Bill, and you could have got a whole. That's when McDaniels probably could have became head coach, and he could have kicked Bill out and said, "See ya, we're keeping Brady. We're gonna have McDaniels as head coach."
In retrospect, what would you do? Let me start with you first. Do you think what would you have done? I know in Bill we trust, man, but it's got to be like what's happening now. What would you do?
It depends what you're looking for. It depends if you're in a win now mode. If you was in a win now mode, then yeah, you'd probably get rid of Bill.
Isn't it always win now though?
Yeah, true, but
you see what I mean?
But do you want to go win now, win 2 years, and then end up like trying to figure it out? Because Brady wasn't going to play another 5 years.
This is my fear.
I can't see Brady another 5 years. He could. Don't get me wrong. He could.
That water, that pliability is ridiculous.
That TB12.
Maybe we shouldn't be eating bread. My goodness.
Start eating that avocado ice cream.
I tried avocado. Oh my god, I can't do it.
No, you keep Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick's the one that built the team. He builds the defense. You're just in a shitty transition area right now, because you got it. Brady's gone. You start gutting the team out a little bit. Last year was a Band-Aid with Cam Newton. Then this year is like, all right, we spend the money, but we also know we still have other holes that we're dealing with. Gilmore. Then you have the McCourty situation that's happening, like where he's going to end up being gone soon. You have Hightower that's going to end up retiring next year, and then you have the Chase Winovich situation where you don't even know what the hell he's doing out there. You're still figuring things out. Again, look at his signing with Matt Judon, and Judon's already made an instant impact. You need a couple more Judons out there. You need a couple more signings.
I don't think anyone would have messed up with Judon. We just saw what Judon was in Baltimore. Yeah. He was an animal. He's been a beast.
But Belichick's been worth every penny.
Right.
Got the deal done. Belichick got the deal done. Yeah. Could have McDaniels gotten the deal done? Because again, like, you're also Belichick's the GM slash.
I want a question. I have a question about the deal done thing. It was money.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it? And Felger said this today. I don't want to say he was the first, but he said it. He said that Bill might be a fraud. The next following years, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
But so, just for shit and gigs.
But Belichick's always ahead of the game to have his excuses ready. Because last year, 7-9, and what did he say? Cap space. That was his first thing, right? That was the thing everyone harped on him.
Right.
This year, you get 7 wins again. Well, we have a rookie quarterback, right? Then next year, if they do it again, well, and Mac Jones doesn't look good somehow for next year, well, we took the best available player at 15. We went with it. He always has the excuses ready to go. Belichick will always have it. But his legacy is going to get hurt if he does not get to another big dance. He has to at least get to the Super Bowl. I think we can, if at least gets there and doesn't win, you can still say Belichick has this ultimate legacy. But again, what did we just say? We circle it right back. Brady's laughing. Brady's seeing everything that's happening, and the narrative keeps just changing. It went from here, and then Brady won a Super Bowl, and Brady's still at the top of the game, and he's going to win an MVP, and he's still up here, and Belichick's down here. The narrative's not even close anymore. It really isn't. Your coaching decisions have been bad. Nothing's looking good. You don't know what you're doing. You're not wearing your hoodies anymore. Like,
it's about the hoodies. It's about the hoodies for him.
If he wears a hoodie against the Jets, maybe it's going to be a crisp, nice 1 o'clock game in Foxborough this upcoming week, and he wears a hoodie, you slam the Patriots. I want to see those hoodies back. I think there's something. The power of the hoodie, right? We always joke about it.
Let's talk about it. The power of the hoodie.
There's something there. There's something there. I believe in it. Don't change it up. Like when he changed up in 2007, he wore the red at the Super Bowl, and everyone's like, "What are you doing wearing red?" Like, you never wear red, and they lost. He's never worn red ever again. It's these superstitions, man.
You know what? I'm a little saddened by what's going on here. So you know what? Let's talk about something that's fun, something that will excite my heart, making my heart pump a little. And we got our guest here. We're gonna give it to you. What is going on? Because I'm a pink hat. I've told everyone this.
Hold on.
Okay, let's talk. Now we ready.
We got to talk about the best player in baseball right now. Ain't no hotter hitter than Kike Hernandez. Ain't no hotter hitters in the MLB right now in this postseason than the Puerto Ricans. I'm telling you right now, 3 out of the 5 walk-offs that have been in this postseason have been Puerto Ricans. Christian Vasquez, Kike Hernandez, Eddie Rosario last night against the Dodgers. They're making a run that I have not seen since 2018. And this team is very powerful in hitting, and they're playing the other team's game. Look at game 1. the Houston Astros took a lot of pitches.
Right.
They took a lot of pitches in that game, and they took advantage.
You should leave those on for now.
Leave
Them on till the segment's over. Yeah, this is you.
So they noticed in Game 1 against Houston, they took a lot of pitches. And what did they do? They took advantage. What did the Sox do the next game? Did the same thing. 2 grand slams, back-to-back innings. What did they do today? Same thing. Took pitches. Schwarber hits a grand slam.
Yeah.
Set a postseason record, 3 grand slams.
That's unbelievable.
First time that's ever happened.
And hey,
first time that's ever happened.
You're the Red Sox guy. This guy goes to all the games. He gets all the bobbleheads. You've seen it all. You support the Red Sox. Trust me, more than me and Cliff, right?
100%.
We know it. We said it last week. Dito, at the trade deadline, they got Schwarber. Everyone crapped on them. Everyone crapped on. I know. I'm not saying you crapped on him. I'm saying everyone crapped on him. How good does it feel tonight that he was the one that got a grand slam and everyone else is just fucking playing golf right now?
Man. He's probably the best, smartest hitter in that team. He gets on base.
Over Martinez?
Yeah, I think over Martinez. He's the best.
Wow.
He takes a lot of pitches. That's the one thing. He's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch him, he gets on base. Look at Pryor before him getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He had more home. He was second leading in home runs in the National League. That's a lot to say. Then he came to Boston, and he was, 2-3 weeks off because of the simple fact that he's coming back from his injury.
Right.
And he's lit up ever since.
Yeah.
He's been a big key to the point where it's like we can't take his bat out of the lineup. We got to take Bobby Dahlbeck out.
Yeah.
And Dahlbeck had a hot start, hot end of the season with Renfroe. And Schwarber's been playing amazing first base.
It's a good problem to have.
I have not seen, and that was my 2 big things, is they lost Iglesias, who was a big key to the end of the season, who helped them solidify that home field advantage in the wild card. But you knew you was going to lose him in the postseason due to them getting him a little bit too late. And then you was like, what are we going to get out of Christian Arroyo? Christian Arroyo came back hurt, didn't really get any at-bats toward the end of the season, and he's played amazing defense. Schwarber's played amazing defense. The 2 guys you had biggest question marks have been the biggest keys to the defense on that team.
Doesn't it feel wild, Dito, that it almost felt like the Sox were not even going to be in the playoffs? And they had to go into Washington.
I didn't think they were going to make it.
And they had to have other things around them kind of happen in their favor. And then you beat the Nationals in that little series. You have a little hot streak. Then you beat the Yankees at home. And you're feeling it. Then you lose the first one to Tampa, but they crawled back into that game. They tried crawling back. They had an opportunity to score runs at one point.
Yeah, you got to remember that Verdugo. He talked about it. He seen a Rosarena sitting down after the home runs they hit. And
with the popcorn?
With the popcorn. And he said it himself. He's like, I hear them, they're eating popcorn saying order the champagne, that they were already ready to celebrate. And it's like, nah, we coming back. Don't sleep on us. Boom, boom, boom. They end up coming back.
This team
they're doing the same thing against Houston, because I guarantee you Houston was probably sitting there like
after game one,
yep, we coming back. This is our
but Houston, they got a squad over there.
No, that's what I'm saying. And that's the one big key thing with the Red Sox is you have to score early against this team.
Yeah.
You have to keep your foot on their neck. And that's what they've been doing these last 2 games. How many runs have they scored in the
so they scored
they've scored 8 in the first 2 innings in game 2.
Tonight was another
9 in the first 2 innings now.
Yeah.
And it's like now you have an option where it's like you can get to the pitching staff, giving the bullpen a little bit more help. The bullpen can go in a little bit more relaxed, because look what happened in game 2. You bring in Darwinson Hernandez, who comes in the 9th inning. All he needs to get is 3 outs and gives up 2 solo shots. But you had that cushion.
You got a cushion
So
to be able
to
just in case.
And that's what happened with us in game 1. We didn't have that cushion. And they ended up coming back and getting the ties when we had the opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities in game 1 that we didn't take advantage of. But we've been taking advantage of him in game 2 and game 3.
How do you feel about Chris Sale going forward?
Great question.
Because shaky. He's been shaky every time he's out there.
Well, that's the
you just need that one game out of him.
Well, that's the good thing. The one game that we was worried about was today.
Yeah.
What Rodriguez was we gonna get?
Yeah, which one? Yeah.
Rodriguez has been shaky. He's been the biggest.
He's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of player, man.
And, Sale, you kind of understand. It's like, okay, he's coming back from an injury. But Rodriguez has been that guy, all year. He's been there all year. So what Eddie did you get? And he pitched amazing.
That's a fact.
For that, it gives Chris Sale, it gives Cora breathing room. It's like, okay, Okay, now I have Pavetta still. I still have Evaldi who could possibly go in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Sale. Now you have a full bullpen now. You still got Whitlock who's a stud. You still got Robles who's still good as well.
Yeah.
And then now it gives breathing. Like, it's just, you don't want to put them in that pressure situation.
In that pressure situation.
Look what happened in Game 1 with the pressure situation with Salamora. Ends up walking guys, and that's what
he was rattled.
Yo.
And he was rattled.
Yeah.
They're lucky they got out of that game as close as it was, and that double play that Martin Perez.
He didn't know where the strike zone was.
No,
man.
He couldn't find it.
It was insane.
He got lucky that the fact that Devers turned that double play.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that game should have been a 7 to 8 to 3 game. You know, 8 to 4 because Kike did come back up and doing his thing.
Which hurts even more because if you kept it a 1-run game and Kike went up and did that, it should be a tie game.
Now is it Kike or Kiki?
Kike.
It should have been Kiki because then I would have asked
Trust me,
Kiki, do you love me? Come on, man.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Don't be watching his name. It's Kike.
Okay, Kike. I'm going to tell you this. I know Kike's pissed off right now.
Why do you think that?
2-year contract and he's blowing up right now. This is where he needed to sign.
That's the thing. There's a lot of guys that it's going to be contract decisions.
Yeah.
Because even though Kike's performing, he has a 2-year, 14 mil deal.
Yep.
The biggest guy that was a big contributor to the season was Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah.
Renfroe's got like nothing, and he signed a 1-year deal. I don't know. I think it was,
he signed a 1 year.
He signed a 1-year deal.
He's out of here.
I think it was
He's getting that money.
$3.5 million, and I believe he led the league in outfield assist. No one was running on Renfroe.
Out of here.
And that's the thing is he's gonna get paid. You got another guy who's battling for a contract who pitched tonight, Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Who's in the final year of his deal. So it's just like.
Do you believe that brings the best out of them if they're going for contracts and they're funding?
Good question.
So it's like the Patriots, like in football.
I think it does.
Contract year, you're gonna get the best out of that player because they want to get paid somewhere. Whether it's the Sox or elsewhere, that's fine.
I think it does, and it's just like you're finding a lot of steals.
If you're the Red Sox,
Chaim Bloom looks like a god.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like Theo Epstein. Right?
Yeah.
But Dito, like
he's in the locker room celebrating with the guys.
He's in his shorts and t-shirt.
He's barefoot with the guys. He doesn't even look like a GM, and it's just like he's looking like a stud right now.
Isn't it crazy over these last 15 years, Dito, to see this franchise itself, organization, press the restart button a few times, and it just works out from worst to first, whether it's management changes, when you go from, Tito Francona, you got John Farrell, then you go to Alex Cora, and then Alex Cora leaves and you get him back, to the GM kind of moves as well, too. Like, isn't it nuts how this organization can just press the restart button and they're right back into it? Like, we're 2 games from the World Series, and no one's stopping this team right now.
Well, that's the thing. It's developing within the system. They have that farm system that they're believing in. Devers has been a big key to the system. Look at the longest tenured Red Sox right now in Bogarts, who's been here since the 2013 World Series when he made his rookie debut. So it's just like they're believing in the system and they're following that suit. Unlike other teams where they're like, other than maybe the Rays who were developing their system, but look at the Yankees. They're just buying guys.
Yeah.
And they're not winning. They've won one World Series since what? 2000?
Well, not for nothing. What are we at? We're second in payroll this year again, right?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know if the Dodgers are up there. Yankees might still be up there. Probably Padres got to be up there as well. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know the Red Sox are probably up there. But that's why they saved a lot of money, had to find these gems.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys you can name that they don't have big contracts. I think the biggest contract the Sox have right now that they ended up signing him with an extension was Bogarts.
Do you think LA is going to make it?
Are they down 0-2?
They're down 0-2.
They're down 0-2.
They lost 2 back-to-back games on walk-offs.
In Atlanta, yeah.
And they're going back to LA. I still do believe LA will make a run because look what they did. They beat the Giants, who nobody really thought they was going to beat them.
Right.
The only team that I thought was going to beat the Dodgers in the wild card was going to be the Cardinals. They beat them in a walk-off. So it's just like I don't sleep on the Dodgers yet, but I think they need to be very aware that this Braves team, without their 2 best power hitters in Marcell Ozuna and Acuna Jr., they don't have them, and they're still going hard with Jocktober, rocking the pearls, doing his thing. Like that's crazy. That's nuts to think that the Dodgers got rid of Jock Peterson, sent him to Chicago. Chicago goes on a straight sail. And it's like, okay, the Braves got Jock Peterson. It's like, okay, but Jock's been lighting it up. Austin Riley's been lighting it up for the Braves.
Who would you rather play in the World Series? out of those two
Personally?
teams. Yeah. Like, what would be the better?
Personally, the Braves.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm going to take the Braves because the Sox have played the Braves and they've played them very well. They played them in Atlanta this past year. Played them very well. I think Arroyo had a grand slam down there. They played well. And against the Dodgers, it's like, Mookie's going to come in, and Mookie loves Fenway. You don't want him to come down to Fenway.
But don't you want to see the theatrics?
Yes.
I know I do. Yes.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
If you're talking a baseball story, then you want to see
But do you want the ring? Like, you want the ring.
But if it's like, if I want the easiest path to the ring, I'm choosing the Braves. If I want the headline story and the moneymaker, you got to go to Dodgers. You got to have a rematch, and then especially you got the guy that's on that team.
I heard this today. So the Patriots are playing out in L.A. against the Chargers on Halloween. If
Big if
L.A. and Boston play each other in the World Series, and if it goes to Game 6 or 7 out in L.A., it's at the same time. So there's a lot of people from New England are going out to LA.
Look at that.
Look
the
at that.
Chargers.
Timing. A lot of people are going out to LA for the Chargers game because it's a destination. It's a new stadium.
That would be pretty.
Weren't able to do it last year. A lot of people had plans already to go.
That was one of them.
So you're already going to have some true New England fans out there. It would be great.
I'll take a trip out there. I got a place to crash.
It's a good excuse to go out there. Go see the Pats.
I could go crash at my buddy's pad. He just got a new home, so he has a bedroom for me. He held me down. Shout out to Kevin Boston. He's a fan.
Kev's
a fan. He'll hold us down.
I've been invited to this game 12, 13, 14 times over by everybody, even Bolt God. It's like, come out, I got you a ticket. I got you a ticket, and he's like, come stay with me and crash on the couch. I'd love to do it. I can't be the savage I once was. Fiona and Sophia need me at home. That's what they need me to do. So a little different. No hate to my beautiful baby daughters at home. Just a different life now, man. I would love to be out in LA partying with everybody. I know Silver Bolt's gonna be out there. He'll be out having a good time. But let me talk about the Chargers real quick.
Let's talk about them.
They got exposed a bit to the Ravens. I liked them this past week against the Ravens. I think I had them in my pick'em last week in terms of who I like for bets. The Chargers did not look like the Chargers we were watching the first couple of weeks. So, again, Pats Nation, like, there's no panic button just yet because, Cliff, we talked about it. If you lost to Dallas, what's the path now? The path is you beat the Jets and then you go against the Chargers. That really is still a turning point in the season. You do not want to be 3-5. You can beat them. You could beat them and go 4-4. You beat them last year. You beat them very soundly with a Cam Newton-led team, which was mostly defense that won that game for them. You can beat them. You've done it last year. Do it again this year. And guess what? Another team that they're going to be playing against later on in the season, they're going to be playing the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are banged up as well, too.
Doo-doo Brown.
The paper champion Cleveland Browns, again, are paper champions. I love the city of Cleveland, don't get me wrong. It's something cool and unique to root for. But the Cleveland Browns are already banged up with Hunt and Chubb are both hurt. Baker Mayfield's got some sort of shoulder injury. Say that a bunch of times fast. You can get him to come in here on, I believe it's a 1 o'clock game. You can catch Cleveland on a bad day, and you can be able to beat them. So now I'm starting to look at the future, and again, Buffalo Bills, you play them in December. They just lost the Tennessee Titans. The Titans out of all teams, which you got to play Tennessee still later on too. So things are still kind of figuring out in the NFL, and it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable that teams are beating up on each other. Stay injury free. You need to get some of these players to like especially Mac Jones, stay injury free. Do not have a major injury. Damien Harris. He didn't fumble, by the way, this week, which is
because
nice.
Jurgens got him off. They're like, listen.
Last week, last week, it's the season where you get extra lotion, maybe hurt you.
It's real.
I think Damien Harris. Did we see any pictures of him this week carrying a football around?
No.
Because I went on that rant last week and I spoke to Damien Harris.
Say it again, just in case he forgets.
Do not hold the ball. Like, we don't want to see pictures of it. And I think he listened. I think he heard it.
He scared me.
I'm not stupid, Dino. You know I'm not stupid.
You know when he got scared? When he was getting gang tackled, there was like 5 guys. And this is all,
I was like, oh, he's He learned from last week.
Yes.
That was my biggest worry. I was like, oh.
No jerkings.
I'm thinking to myself, get down, David.
Yeah, already. Like, you did well. Thank you.
He was standing up, so he impressed me.
We post these clips on Instagram. I'm not stupid. These guys are watching. They're watching indirectly. They see it. I know Damien Harris. I know you saw it, and I know you didn't fumble. Good job by you. I wish I got to see more Damien Harris and having better runs in the game because it would have accounted to a win later on. But that's what I wanted to see from Damien. I don't want these pregame bullshit from your Patriots Nation out there. Not Pats Nation, but the Patriots organization who runs social media. Like, I don't want to see that. See that grab right there? You saw that nice grab? I know you guys saw that at home. I don't want to see you holding a football before the game. I don't want to see any of that. You know what? I want to say something else, too, while we're on the Patriots. You're loved by the outfield. You know, Josie's on a vacation far away. They talked about this on Zolak and Bertrand today. Should they get rid of that song? Are these songs that they use for pregame or during the game as well, too? Should they get rid of it because that's a Brady era type of thing and get something new? Because it's obviously not working for them. They say that Josie song is turning into like Sweet Caroline. The Red Sox. Right?
I still like Sweet Caroline. Let's not.
So but when you're down like 10-5 and the play,
no one wants to hear that.
You don't want to hear it at that time. So they said that at the game yesterday they played it like one of the worst times, like during the game when like the Pats were down.
Their selection of music is a little suspect to me sometimes. When like you want to get amped up, you got the fans. Like, what is it? What do they call it in Seattle? 12th Men over there. Like, they play some real shit over there. Like, why can't we have that?
Yeah. I've noticed that at different stadiums too. Like,
different
stadiums, they play some dope music.
Audio works, especially.
Same thing here.
We need that because it's cold outside. The Bud Lattes, after a while, they wear off because you pissed them out in the bathroom going there a million times. They should amp us up. Like, come on.
You hear some of these songs at Gillette, it's just going to make you think of the old times. Like, oh, we used to have Brady here. We used to be able to come with my fourth quarter comebacks. Or you listen to the song, we're already up 35-0 on this team in the past. Like, I think everything needs to hit as a reset button in terms of that. And they're figuring it out, too, because this is their first year with fans now. Obviously, it's not working out when you're 0-4 at home. Like, you got to change something in that atmosphere to keep the fans going. And as I said, you lose to the Jets or they lose a couple more games, who's going to even show up there? You're going to have a lot of these opposing fans out there.
Yep. I want to do this. Before we hook you guys up to make some money, like if you followed my guy, you would have made a couple dollars. I know I made a few dollars because I produced a show and I followed his bets. So before we go there, I want to talk about another team. Because there's a lot of excitement happening in Boston, guys. Please tell me, what are your thoughts this year on this team here? I love the Bruins. I just want you to know, as you can see, I'm Canadian. But it's not about the Bruins right now. I'm talking about the green. I think they're going to do something. I'm not going to say they're going to win the whole thing, but they're going to do something special. What's your thoughts on that?
You want to go first with the Celtics?
I'll let you go.
Okay, so like I have been thinking hard about the Celtics this year. I feel like they didn't make the right moves at the deadline. I was a very anti-Marcus Smart type of player or type of person because I thought they could move on from him. I thought that this is the year that Tatum needs to take over. At the same time, Smart has proven me wrong once before because they said they should have traded him, and he got hurt at the time, and then it was a couple years ago. He hurt his shoulder or his arm, and then they needed him for the playoff run. You do need Smart. I do like the coaching. Udoka like benching Marcus Smart. There's that got out somehow about him missing the flight.
Missed the flight. Yep.
But accountability. Being a man as a coach and saying, nope, we don't need you. You're gonna miss this. You're suspended for a couple games.
I like that though.
I love that. I love seeing that.
Yeah.
So then we're gonna look at a couple other things in the NBA, right? I think, shout out to Tony Maz because he said this too. Our expectations are low for the Celtics in a way. I know you're all excited, Cliff.
I am
excited. You're excited. You're into it.
I'll tell you why. After your take.
You have low expectations. Like there might be a 6th seed, right? Maybe a 7th seed. That's the way I'm going to look at the Boston Celtics. But then I look at above them, right? Mm-hmm. The Nets are going through turmoil right now. Kyrie Irving's probably not going to play this season. He's
Dumpster fire.
Stay unvaccinated. It's gonna ruin that team. Might crumble. That'd be awesome to see that because to put that team together, which should be a dynasty team,
and they don't get anything. I want to see it
fall apart.
I'm
right
petty.
In front of our
I'm
eyes.
petty. I like it.
Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks might take a step back. You won a championship. That's very, very hard to do, especially the way he did it. Maybe he doesn't have that same motivation and drive this year to be a back-to-back champion. And he could live off of that one championship, and he's going to be loved, respected, and going to the Hall of Fame, and he's always to be loved in Milwaukee. So that could also put a step back there as well, too. You look at some of the other teams, like maybe a Miami, they're just a middle-of-the-road type of team. The Toronto Raptors, great test at the start of the season. Opening night on Friday, you're playing the Toronto Raptors. The New York Knicks, another great test to start the season as well, too. I do think there's an issue right now. It's the brown check mark, the brown check mark, right? And when it comes to Sports Hub, 6 players are unvaccinated, one of them being Jaylen Brown. How is that going to work for the rest of the season? Is Jaylen Brown going to get the vaccine? And some of these guys have COVID already, so they're getting sick with each other. I heard some person put it out on Twitter and said that Jaylen Brown is kind of secluded in his own hotel, but he was allowing players to come visit him. He wasn't wearing his mask when he was supposed to, and then these players are getting sick. So that needs to be nipped in the bud early on in the season. And guys, like Boston could become a mandate type of city where, hey, you have to be vaccinated in order to go do something. Or we've seen it with New York, and we've seen it out in San Francisco. This is why Kyrie can't play. So that could happen in Boston. There's a big chance that happens. And let's bring it back to football. Cam Newton got vaccinated because he knows he needs to keep a job, and he needs to work, right? So I think that's going to come into play as well too. Again, I'm not too worried about the Boston Celtics in the first half of the season. Talk to me at the All-Star break. I always said that to you last week. Talk to me at the All-Star break. We see what happens. But as a organization like the Boston Celtics, with this team right here not looking so well, and I thought this was interesting last year, when they lost to the Buffalo Bills last year, the New England Patriots, I believe it was the Cam Newton fumble game, Jason Tatum signed his contract the same day. So they're competing with each other in terms of grabbing the audience in Boston.
Right.
I thought that was a smart move because you're like, well, now the Pats are down and out. By the way, we just locked up Jason Tatum for another. So as a New England sports fan, you're like, oh, well, now my attention's on the Celtics for a little bit. The Celtics need to make a run kind of early because look at the Pats right now on every Sunday, and like you have this fan base, you can kind of get more attention your way, and also in the media as well too. More people might talk about the Boston Celtics over the Patriots if the Patriots are under 500 team and not performing well. It's football dominant. The city wasn't always football dominant. You know that. It was baseball. It was basketball back in
hockey
the 80s,
as well.
like hockey as well too.
Hockey town.
These organizations football is a major thing that's very hard to take down, but you could be the talk of the town. Look at the Red Sox. They were the talk at first, then they died off, and now wow, they're the talk of the town right now, especially where they are right now in the ALCS going in the World Series. But I'll be out there this Friday. I'm actually going to go to the Celtics home opener. We're going to be at Causeway Bar. We're going to do a pregame and postgame. That's going to be fun. I'm excited to be back out inside the stadium. And see, the Celtics games are fun, man. The crowd gets into it. You want to talk about crowd? There's a better crowd in the TD Garden with 17,000 people than there is at Gillette Stadium with 68,000 people. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So what's your thoughts with the Celtics? Because I
mean, my whole thing is, what are they going to do with that center position? That's the biggest key to, I think, is what are you going to get from Robert Williams? Because after that, it's just like, are you going to really rely on Horford? You don't know what you're getting out of Horford. You don't know what you're getting out of Cantor. That's going to be the biggest key for them. And what Dennis Schroeder are you going to get? Are you going to get the LA one that just happened where he scores 0 points and doesn't contribute anything? Or are you going to get the Dennis Schroeder beginning of the season where he was distributing the ball, LeBron, being able to be somewhat of an Atlanta type of Dennis Schroeder, even OKC?
Yep.
Those are my two biggest questions, especially if he struggles. Are you going to bring in? Is Pritchard going to be the guy for you? Because it's like you don't really know who to put in there. Pritchard's been looking very well, other than the injury to his nose.
Right.
You got to protect PP, so you gotta protect the nose. So
P Rabbit.
So he's looked very well. And it's just like, what are you going to get from Schroeder? You didn't sign him to a big deal.
No, not yet. It's too early, though.
So
too early.
It's too early. So he's, you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
Correct.
But if worst comes to worst, he's expendable. You can get rid of him. You're not getting any. You're not paying him anything. But that's what I'm saying. It's still too early. It's kind of like I want to see how they do these next few weeks. See how they start early. I'm curious how they're going to start off with the Knicks. How are they going to do against Kimba? What is this team? Because you're not seeing them at full health. You haven't seen this team at full health.
We haven't seen them
preseason. No Jalen.
We haven't seen them ever at full health. And that's my thing, ever, right?
Especially that's the one thing that you haven't been able to see with the Celtics team. The coaches, what's his I don't pronounce his last name.
Udoka? Is it Udoka? Am I saying
Udoka.
that right?
I don't
Yep,
want to.
I believe so.
I don't want to botch his name, but Udoka has not seen this team at a full strength because of no Jalen. So he doesn't know how to maneuver this team around. Luckily, they've won 2 games. Romeo's looked very well these last few games. Romeo Langford.
Yep.
So, but then you get smoked by Orlando.
Orlando's is a sleeper team, though. I think this is what I think with the Celtics, as it is with the Patriots. There was a time when the East just was not good, like the Patriots.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I don't want to go back to football, the East is good now. It's going to stay okay for a while, too. Back to the Celtics. I think, like, Jaylen Brown's one of my favorite players in the Celtics. He's not the most gifted athlete over when you compare him and Tatum, but to me, he plays both ways. I like someone that plays
He's the smartest player, I think,
defense.
on that team.
He is. I think Tatum playing in the Olympics, I think he might have gained some balls. And by that meaning, he's probably going to use his body weight, use his height now.
Have you seen the pictures of him?
What's that?
Have you seen pictures of him?
Not recently.
He looks like he's getting bigger.
He has to be. He's still a baby,
Yeah,
and they're growing.
He's 21.
Yeah.
He's
That's my point, right? These kids are still young.
Yeah.
I think Marcus Smart is going to be traded because his contract is very favorable, believe it or not. He's a decent point guard, but they're going to actually test him. He's never had the opportunity to truly run the team. Now he can run the team. Now, to answer your question with the center position, who else in the NBA has a center? Like a true center. Is that really a thing? There's no longer Shaq.
I think the only true centers, there's like no.
That's my point.
I think Embiid's probably the only one.
And that's it.
That's really the only one.
I love Embiid, but you know what? He gets tired. You can burn him. Just run up and down a couple times. I think that's how the Celtics have to play.
The one thing that I've seen over the years is the post game has died.
It's gone.
It's gone.
And to me, I don't understand why. But you know who's started to play some of the post game? Jason Tatum. He's starting to back up. Why? Because he's noticed, wait a minute, I can sun a lot of these kids.
And he's getting
I'm going to
back
hook.
on.
And they're giving me calls now. Yes, Jason Tatum, I'm speaking to you. Go to the hole. You're going to get the calls. I promise you. What is he, 6'11"? No, 6'10"? He's 6'10".
He's up there.
He's 6'10". They say he grew 2 inches last year because he was 6'8". Like, use your height. Use your length. Use your width. You're a pure shooter. You are. But take it to the hole, man. Take it to the hole. So that's why I'm a little excited about the Celtics team, because I believe the coach is going to reinforce defense. Anytime you have a new coach, players just play for this new coach. And I think they can somewhat score. What does scare me, though, is Schroeder. Because he's playing for a contract. I don't want him doing silly stuff out there trying to score points to get a contract. That is a fear of mine. Besides that, I think we'll have a good season. I'm not saying like Kyle. I think it's Kyle on here. He's saying banner 18 on the way. Hey, man, I'd like to see it because I like parties. Yeah. But I'm going to be realistic. I don't see that
I've been saying it for 12 years. You've been saying it for so long.
12, almost 13 years.
13 years of just saying banner 18 over and over again. You know what I want to see this year? Kevin Garnett be a little bit more with the team, because if you're going to retire his number and throw up the 5 up there, I like to see Kevin Garnett come and see this team a little bit more often before his retirement of his number, making a couple appearances, getting ready to be back in Boston, because I think you still need a couple extra added outside voices to get into that locker room as well, to get into some of these guys' heads. When you brought up Jason Tatum and said how he's getting bigger and stronger, look at LeBron James when he first came in the league. The guy was still very small, and look where he ended up becoming into that man meat of what he is, right? So not saying Tatum is LeBron James. I mean, he's dunked on LeBron James. He showed that he can do it.
I was there.
You were there. He's like, I was there. I have the T-shirt that says I was there.
I still got the ticket stuff before the mobile stuff was going
Really?
on. I still got the ticket stuff to that game.
Nice.
You know that Tatum is going to be in the MVP conversation the next year, 2, 3 years. Tatum's going to have that. It's just you need to put the right team around him. The Celtics need to win. And I think with Brad Stevens, so Tatum already has a prior relationship with Udoka, so they're already together. They know each other. Stevens and now Tatum have a relationship with each other too, and I feel like Tatum could be the type of person to walk right into Brad Stevens' office and say, Brad, this is what we're doing. Brad, this is who I want. Brad, trade this motherfucker away. Because that's how Tatum should act.
I agree.
don't think anybody would hate if Tatum is not the ball hog, but he's the franchise hog. This is my franchise.
He's
That's how
the
he
highest
needs to be.
pick so far, right?
He needs to be high.
Lead. Like you've asking Mac Jones.
Yeah,
lead.
Like lead. So it's great when you have both these guys, Mac Jones and Jason Tatum, their futures here in Boston. You have some great talent going forward. But at the same time, Jaylen Brown, he knows his role. He doesn't. It's good. Jaylen Brown doesn't have to be the number one guy, right? Like that. It's good for Jaylen's confidence, good for his psyche that he doesn't have to do that. Let Tatum be the guy.
He's good being Batman. I mean, Robin. Excuse me.
But it works together. It's just you need there's a couple missing pieces. We say that every year, and you're right, Cliff. They've never been healthy.
Nope.
Like, how many games have the Boston Celtics truly been healthy for the last 3 years? We have everybody on the floor.
Insane.
And you always feel like, damn, if they just stayed healthy, damn, if this guy didn't get hurt, damn, if that guy didn't get hurt. Because health also equals chemistry. And I said this last year to Tan and my buddy T-Guns. I said, you need at least a 20-game stretch where everyone's fully healthy and everyone's playing together at 100%. You need that. So
yeah, I agree. You want to make these people some money, man?
Let's try to. I made some money tonight.
Yeah,
I made some money.
Talk about it.
I got a little pie to parlay in tonight. If you've been paying attention, John knows.
John knows.
John knows has been trending for the last week and a half. John knows. John.
We can get that shirt going.
John.
We get some merch.
John was the one who told me that Cam Newton was getting cut and Mac Jones was going to be the starter 3 days before it happened. And I didn't believe him. John knows. John always comes in my ear and says these wild things because I look at John and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. John's been around the block a couple times. He's in the older stages of his life. So he's seen it. He's seen what's going on. And he made a statement last week saying Derrick Henry's going to run all over Buffalo and the Titans are going to win that game. And that's what ended up happening. And they barely escaped with the victory. It was 4th and 1. Buffalo tries running it. 4th and 1 on Tennessee's 1. They got stuffed. And they ended up, Tennessee ends up winning that game. Great to see that. John did get one thing wrong. He said yesterday the Pats were going to win, but I don't blame him because it went to overtime. They should have won that game. We've already talked about that numerous times. Let's talk about some games coming up this upcoming Sunday.
I'll bring it up for you.
Attention last week, guys. I think I was 3-2. I picked Washington. I think Washington could have beat Kansas City. I know I got that one wrong. I know I got the Patriots wrong as well, too, because I'm a homer and I picked the Patriots, right? Am I going to pick the Patriots again this week?
Yes.
Let's see.
Am I going to pick them again this week?
Ladies and gentlemen.
New York Jets at New England. New England -6.5. Take New England -6.5. Yes, I'm picking New England again. Listen, I've talked about it, and it's about how this team comes out. The defense needs to step up. This is a prime game, just like we said about Houston is your bounce back game. Hopefully, they don't play like they did against Houston. You take the Patriots. You take the points.
Mac looked like he was pissed off at that picture. So I think
Bring that
I think he's gonna pull that off for you, man. I think he's gonna pull that off for you.
Yeah, he's excited, pissed off.
It's a lot of intensity in that picture.
There is a lot of intensity. He's like, I get these guys some money.
Weird
damn
emotions,
it,
man. 1 second he looks like he's gonna cry and bawl his eyes out. After
I don't want to go there, but you guys want to talk about that. He is a little. It bothers me.
I think it's frustrating for him that he can't run the offense the way he runs.
You think that is?
I think that's what it is.
Don't cry about it. Just do it. Don't cry about it.
I think he's learning that. He's like, okay, damn, I can't do what I did in Alabama here.
Yeah.
They're not trusting me, and he looks like he's gonna cry about it.
But let's be honest. Let's take our Patriot heart out. Do you think if he bitched, do you think there's a chance Bill would be like, excuse me, sit down and put Hoyer in?
No, there's absolutely no way.
Really?
He would respect him. He would respect him. Because Belichick's a defensive guy. Come on. Belichick doesn't run the offense. He does not run the offense. Brady was running the offense, and McDaniels just happened to be there, right? Brady took the reins over, and I'm sure that there was times in 2000 even, in practices, and then in 2001 when Brady took over, Brady probably made decisions on the fly if we have to go back and find it. I'm sure people out there that are humongous Pats fans probably know that. He went over Charlie Weiss, I'm sure, and made his own decisions back in 2001, right?
I still remember the thing he said to Kraft when he shook his hand. Do you remember what he said to him?
I'm
the best pick you ever made.
Decision you ever
I'm the
made,
best
right?
decision you ever
Right?
made.
So like that's the confidence that Mac Jones should have. He shouldn't just be coming in here and just being another system quarterback. Mac Jones looks like a system quarterback right now. I don't want that. Break the system.
Woo!
We can go on this all day.
All right,
man.
well, I'm going to throw this game up to you. What do you
Let's
think?
get the next one.
What do you think about Philly, Vegas? Ladies and gentlemen, what do we think he's going with? He's going with?
Las Vegas -3. I don't think we talked about Las Vegas last week, but I did say, what Vegas team are we going to get post-Gruden? And I have a big Dan Jolly. Shout out to Dan Jolly out there. I know he's one of the biggest Raiders fans out there. I talked to him so much during the week. He said that Gruden was holding Carr back. Carr likes to throw. We also seen it with their run game because Kenyon Drake had a pretty good performance this week as well too. Jacobs wants to get more involved as well too. I like Las Vegas over Philly. I think Philly's a dumpster fire. It will be. I want to see the Eagles just crumble as well too. It's always awesome to see that. But I think Las Vegas -3 is a good pick for this week.
Can I just say something? I truly feel, with everything that I believe in, I think Hurts is overrated.
Think so?
Yeah. I think he's just a college guy. He has a good arm. He just needs to, I think they just need to rebuild the way he thinks, the way he operates. He's not looking to just get first downs. He's still in college mode. I need to just go deep.
Was Jalen Hurts always going to be their franchise guy? Or is it just they fell?
Why does he keep going to these
into
great
it?
questions?
Because
let's talk about it real quick.
All right. Well, what was he? What round was he picked in? Was he? All right. We're gonna pull this up because this is
Real
like
quick.
you have to do it live right now. All
Right now.
Jalen
Here we
Hurts.
go.
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Alexander Hurts. Right. Born August 7th, 1998. Okay. Second round pick in 2020. Right.
Yep.
You already had these contracts with Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz was supposed to be their guy in Philly.
Yep.
Then you had Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
You didn't know what to do with him.
He won a Super Bowl.
So I feel like the organization was stuck in some sort of weird transition, and then Wentz wasn't their guy, and then they had to put Hurts in, and Hurts makes a couple plays. Okay, we'll go with it. But now he's starting to be exposed, and it's like, this isn't our franchise guy, and they want to move from him. And we already know that because they already started talking about the rumors of Deshaun Watson going to Philly. It was one of the destinations, and Watson said, no, I ain't going over there. I'm all set with that organization. they just can't figure it out. And I feel like Hurts was picked in the second round because as a second round quarterback, you're not planned on starting right away. We've seen plenty of guys that's been the second round that ends up becoming starters.
Right.
They probably wanted more time to develop him, and now it's like he's being rushed out there. And they have to kind of go with the punches at this point. Also, I don't know what they have for draft picks coming. I didn't like last year. Miami might have one of their draft picks this year, so like I don't know what they have for draft picks coming up as well either, but that organization is upside down. I follow a couple of them on Instagram. The Mighty E-Rock, I follow him. I see what's going on. They're frustrated as fuck. They don't know what they have going on. I give Hurts some credit Thursday night. He tried bouncing back. I mean, too little, too late.
Yep.
I also think Brady was just toying with them, and Vegas made the phone call, says we got to make this -6.5. We're gonna make sure that doesn't happen, but I don't know. You say that you don't like Jalen, you think he's overrated. It's like Tua.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. Like they're kind of like the same player in a way.
Right.
Like the way they both organizations just don't have trust in them, and it's just they weren't bad picks at the time. Jalen Hurts is not a bad second round pick. It's just how things transitioned over the last year and a half, and you're kind of stuck in playing them. So
you know what really grinds my gears? I don't know if you guys watch Family Guy,
Griffin.
but that's my thing, right? Just because you're picked number one doesn't mean you're actually good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's just say you had a great college season and you kind of played some bums. No bums. Or let's say below average, or you're just above average, right? And your team, the NFL team, needs a quarterback or said position that you are, and they make you number one. Doesn't necessarily translate to NFL number one. So I kind of hate when people go back and say these picks and stuff like that, you know?
Trevor Lawrence,
I get it.
#1 overall pick. What's he done in Jackson? It also comes down to the organization you go to.
Yeah, he's in the dumpster
the
fire over there
organization
too.
you go to, what goes on.
I think he's all right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
He's in the worst possible position.
Yeah, we should say I'm like a caregiver or something like
How
that.
How about the Cincinnati Bengals? the Cincinnati Bengals they don't look that bad, right? They're good, but Joe Burrow, first overall pick, it's going to take a couple of years to get him caught up to speed. I mean, is Cam Newton truly the best first overall pick ever either?
No.
Because Cam Newton was, he won a Heisman and he won he was an MVP, but if you look at his stats, he really was a very condensed quarterback for a certain small amount of time.
Well, he had a lot of, and we talked about this, he had a lot of talent. Let's just not forget about Steve Smith, Hall of Famer, Mohammed on the other side, and who's the Olsen as a tight end. And I remember when Cam first got here, I was excited, and I was like, but I need you guys to remove the Brady seed in your brain and understand his throws go this way. And you had dogs going after the ball and fighting for it, like Steve Smith and Mohammed and Olsen. This is why, and yes, he was a great running quarterback. So it worked out. Plus the defense was sick.
Yeah.
Do we not? Who's the linebacker there? He went to BC, right?
Yeah.
They had a great formula.
They did.
So I'm not hating on Cam, but at the same time, it was like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It sucks. But back to making these guys some money. How about your guy, Mr. Mahone?
Well, look at this. So I had this already set. Kansas City at Tennessee. Tennessee plus 160. I like the money line. If you don't want to take the money line, you take the spread plus 4.5. The Tennessee Titans tonight. This was before we even did anything. They beat the Buffalo Bills at home. They have to be feeling it. Now you have Kansas City, which Kansas City didn't look great in the first half against Washington. Kansas City lost the week before. And you got Jackson Mahomes dancing on Sean Taylor's number. You still have this freaking Mahomes family that makes themselves look like a bunch of boneheads. I think Kansas City, I think I'm just gonna pick against them every single week. I'm like, it's bet on your own rest for the Kansas City games, right? I'm betting with my heart. My heart says I want Kansas City to go down. I like Tennessee plus 160. Hey, I took them tonight plus 215, and I put them in a little parlay with the Red Sox. So I think that coming off of a Buffalo win now, Tennessee's got to feel good. They're 4-2. So don't sleep. They have a better record than Kansas City. Do not sleep on the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I think I'm going with that.
Get them 4.5 if you believe it that way.
I'm going with that.
But I will say the secondary tonight looked the defense looked very suspect. Buffalo put up 31 points. They put up 31 points, but Tannehill and Derrick Henry, you got 34 on your own side. You got to put up the points too against Buffalo, which isn't easy. I think Kansas City defense is a little bit easier to score on as well too.
100%.
Take the over. I don't do over-unders. Take the over in that game.
Do it. I know we're playing the Jets. This guy used to play for the Jets, and he's actually a decent quarterback, it looks like. But he's with Carolina.
So you got Carolina. I think that's Carolina at the New York Giants. It's got Carolina -3. The Giants are an absolute dumpster fire. They don't look good. They scored. There was 3-0 against the Rams. I was like, and I had another bet. I actually hit a $500 parlay. I lose all my money anyways. I end up going to zero.
We don't win money, IRS.
So you try to keep you chasing the dream, right? But I had the Rams -7.5. And the Rams this week are like -15 or something. But they were -7.5. They ended up winning the game like 38-10 or whatever it was. They crushed the Giants. Barkley's hurt. I don't know if he's going to be out again this week. Cornelius or whatever is Cornelius Tony, that was looking good, got hurt as well too. Daniel Jones looks like he's a little bit cracked up as well. So -3 just seems like easy money. But Vegas knows, everyone's going to take -3 and then the Giants end up winning. But I like -3. I mean, that's very good value for the Giants team that they're putting out on the field right now.
And I know we were talking about our quarterback and rocked. Who's the guy? What was it? The second possession where our Mr. Mack got just pummeled.
Yeah, absolutely speared.
This guy here, I feel bad for him too. It's the Fields.
Justin Fields.
He's running for his life over there as well.
Yes,
and
he is.
That coach is
Matt Nagy.
Horrible.
So I look at this game, and you're seeing it right now. Chicago at Tampa Bay. Chicago plus 13.5.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. What's going to suck is that Tampa's probably going to cover now because I'm picking Chicago, but. Tampa didn't cover. Tampa hasn't covered. I saw something that Brady is 0-11 in the last 11 games for covering the spread against the spread or something like that. Or in prime time, he's 0 for 11, and like Philly's like 6-0 now, and Thursday Night Football is against the spread. So, these things add up, but I think 13.5 points is a lot of points. I feel like that you might have a couple garbage touchdowns, and that's the reason. It's like they could be up 21 points, and you're feeling good, and all it takes is 1 point or one touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden there goes your spread, right? That's what just happened in the Philly game. Mm-hmm. So I look at that. Maybe it's because I'm a sore loser on Tampa Bay, and I took them 6.5, and they lost. But I'll take Chicago plus 13.5. Just too many points, man. I don't want to. It's hard to say Tampa Bay's going to win 13.5, and they still don't have Gronk yet. Gronk's not back yet.
Yeah, the safety blanket is gone.
I also want to give shout out to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, what a steal!
I told you that was like what they were plus 115 or whatever it was against the Cleveland Browns, and I said that's disrespect to the 5-0 Arizona Cardinals. They went in there and they took care of business pretty easily, just like that. So I think the Cardinals I think they're playing this week, but I think they're like super heavy favorites on whoever I didn't want to touch it. Let me look at it real quick, because I think there's like a 17-point favorite this week, and I was going to send it to you, but I wouldn't touch it because I don't want to touch something like that.
Well, there's a change with Ertz now over there.
That's what it is. Houston Texans at the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 17-point favorites. Do you think the Cardinals can cover that? And that's something I don't want to touch. That's way too many. That's college football there, the way you're looking at that line. So
when are they playing? What time?
That's a 4:00 game. Ugh. That's a 4:00. You get the Colts and 49ers on Sunday Night Football, and then next Monday it's the Saints and Seahawks. Yeah. So Jameis Winston coming off a bye week with that Saints team and the Seahawks team. Geno Smith, they held themselves together against the Pittsburgh team. I mean, they had a chance in overtime, and then T.J. Watt. Yeah. Absolute beast of a player to keep Pittsburgh in the game and pretty much get the turnover to seal the deal for the win. But I like to see Jameis Winston on Monday Night Football next week. We'll be talking about next week, obviously, when it happens, because it's like when it happens, then we go live.
We're going to go live.
So we'll see what happens there.
All right, my guys. Well, I think this was a pretty cool, very cool podcast this evening, late evening. I'm freaking tired. Before we go, what do you guys have planned for this week outside of our regular, usual thing? Like for me, I'll let you know. I was out last night shooting a short film. It was 1:30 in the morning when we finally call cut. It's a wrap. I'm fucking tired. So I'm going to go to work in the morning, and then I'm just going to probably do nothing on a Wednesday, and then I'll get back to
This is why I said last week you're a true motherfucker. Because you're out here listening to me rant for the last hour and a half.
This is a great show.
See it in your face right now.
This is a great show.
It's a great show. They can see how tired you are. You're still out here. You're still doing your job.
You see, Mac Jones, I'm doing my job. Do your job, damn it.
You're still picking it up. You still understand. Dito, what do you got planned this week?
Work and watching the Sox try to take this series home.
You think they're gonna do it here?
I think
2 in a row.
I think they got to win 2 in a row. I think they have to at most take 2 here.
Okay.
They've got the 1. They got to take 2. I would love for them to sweep.
Yeah.
Do it again. Let the other team win 1 game.
Right.
And you get the rest of them. And then I want them to sit home comfortably and just watch the Dodgers and Braves go at it.
Me too.
So to try to get these next 3 games, these next 3 days, which is back to back to back, which is like they got the 8 o'clock game tomorrow, and then they got the 4 o'clock game the following day.
Yeah.
4 or 5 o'clock game, which is kind of crazy.
It is very crazy.
If they can lock up and play the same way they've been playing these last 2 games, man, I'm just waiting to see what go to.
Say the Sox go to the World Series. Who's your starting pitcher?
Game 1.
Game 1 pitcher. Choose wisely.
You would want to say Sale, but
I want to say Sale, but I want to say Evaldi as well.
Yeah,
I'm going Evaldi.
Because Evaldi, Nasty Nate, man.
Yeah,
Nasty Nate, he's been dealing.
Playoffs is his world.
That's his world. He's done it twice against.
Who's starting? Like, are the Red Sox gonna be home to start? How's it go? It's the All-Star game, right? That dictates who's home and away.
Oh my God, I keep forgetting.
So
about
the AL won.
I don't know if
AL won it. Yeah, I think it's this year. They did it. They went back to that. I don't know
if they went back to that, then they probably play here. I'm not sure. Because if it goes
those
to best
first
record,
2 games, if it's here first, those first 2 games are super duper important to win both of those and go 2-0. You do not want to drop one at Fenway. So then that's what you look at it. Maybe put Sale in game 3. Like maybe you're like, we'll get to you later on in the series.
Yeah.
3-7 or something like that. Like, but you need to stay home and you need to win those 2 games.
We need these games.
Put your best pitchers out there.
What about you, buddy?
So I'm not going to as many games anymore for Patriots. It's tough to get out there on the Sundays. I missed the Tampa game. I was supposed to go with him. I was supposed to go to Tampa Bay. Game with him didn't work out. It's Sundays are a little bit tougher for me, but it makes the weekdays, if I can get something to go out, much more important. I cannot wait to go out this Friday night. The Boston Celtics. I know you'll be there pregame, postgame. We're gonna have a DJ as well too. We got Game Day Vodka coming out. It's gonna be at Causeway Bar, right on Causeway Street. We're doing a little pregame party, postgame party. Now listen, the Causeway scene, the Celtics. That's not my stuff. I'm still out there. People kind of know who I am. They might not like me though, but they know who I am. I can't wait to just be out with all of you this Friday night out there. I'm excited to go to a Celtics game. It's different. I like the halftime meetup when everyone kind of gets together and we have 50 people on the concourse, man. You know how crazy it gets over there. I can't wait to go out to the Celtics because next Sunday I'm working, so I'm working during the Jets game. So it's tough, but any opportunity that I get to be able to go out, I'm going to always have fun and go balls to the wall. Also, Cliff, I'm going down to Tampa Bay. November 22nd. So
what?
I know we film on Mondays.
Wow.
And I'm actually going to be going down to Tampa Bay.
What's going on in Tampa?
I can't really talk more than that.
Okay.
But it's Monday Night Football.
Okay.
And your boy's going to be out there.
Okay.
Tampa Bay for the Bucks Giants game. So don't think that I'm trading on you guys as a Patriots fan, saying, "Oh, this guy's going to Tampa. He's going to go support Brady." We'll see how it goes, and that's going to be something that I'll have to talk about after the fact than before the fact. If you can kind of, he knows, he'll know. You start putting your head together. And also shout out to all of you that have watched this, that have taken the time to, even if you don't watch it live, that you've come back and watched it, that you DM me and say, hey, I like this, I don't like this, I want to see more of this, I want you to start doing this. This is what we're learning. We're getting better at it every week. And Cliff, people like your fucking studio. People like seeing this.
Hey, man.
You
I appreciate
have
it.
done a great job.
Appreciate it. We're trying to, how about this? I want to give you your final thoughts because I know you just exchanged some pleasantries. I know you want to just kind of, I want you to just be who you are. And it might come off as ranting, but to me, Mac, it's not ranting. It's just friendly advice. Go.
It's tough love.
Tough love.
Mac Jones, you need to grab life by the balls. People support you in New England. No one's going to be, look at that, yeah, give me that right there. You gotta, this is a baseball, but you see this? You grab life by the balls, right? You gotta take what you want. We take what we want, and we want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. Not finishing the last word in that sentence. But Mac Jones, you need to take this team over. Do not be a McDaniels robot. We know what you have it in you, and I'd rather see you make the mistakes, but knowing that it's you making the mistakes and it's not the coaching forcing you to make the mistakes. That's all. Patriots Nation, do not give up on this team yet. They are 2-4. That doesn't sound pretty. You beat the Jets, you beat the Chargers, you beat the Panthers, you're still in it. Look at everything else happening. And also, there's 3 wildcard teams nowadays. It's not just 2. There's no more 2 buys. There's only 1 buy. You're not getting the buy. That's fine. Buffalo got exposed tonight. You can still you're playing Miami later in the season, which you can get a win. You can beat the Jets. Imagine you can win 5 out of your 6 games in the division. You can still do that. That's still possible. Even winning 4 and going 4-2 in your division, it's still possible to do that. Don't give up. Don't hit the panic button. I will. I'll bring a panic button next week if you lose to the Jets. Then we're talking a whole different story then. Pats Nation, still stay strong. Don't fucking sell your tickets. Do not let these other teams go out there and come into our house, our building in Foxborough, and letting them take a shit all over us. It's not right to see that, man. I hate it. I wish I was there. I really wish I was there every Sunday. And that's it. That's all I got this week. Not much passion. I just Mac Jones, dude. Grab it. Grab it!
Grab your balls, Mac Jones. And on that note, we're out of here.